David Bryant is running to take the prosecutor's job from the woman who currently holds it, and he's building his pitch on one word: accountability. So we're going to ask him the obvious follow-up. Accountability for what, and what specifically would he change? Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
You're a defense attorney. Your last term as a prosecutor was years ago.
Sure.
Straight question for you. What's the biggest office you've ever run?
Well, the biggest office that I've run, my own office. My own office, just working as a private attorney and being able to manage a large caseload on my own.
So for voters who want to know qualifications for the job you're seeking, there are thousands of open cases, 270 homicides. Saying to voters, I've been in courtrooms, isn't the same as running the place.
Well, when you say running the place, I think what you're talking about is the operations of a place, which is a component of the office. The fundamental part about the prosecutor's office is trials. That's what it's built for. It's not a case, it's not an office where you can sit back and enjoy just being a lawyer. The fundamental point of that office is to have trials. And right now we have cases backed up. We have jails overcrowded. And what it needs is a trial lawyer who's going to get those cases in the court. That's my qualifications.
We can confirm. Jails are, in fact, overcrowded. And you say you'll clear the backlog by moving cases to trial faster. But I wonder if you can name the piece of it you actually would control, because the judges, the courtrooms, the labs, the public defenders would not be yours to command, and the defenders are already drowning.
When you say the defenders are drowning, well, so listen, there are three components mainly to getting cases in the court. You have the judges, and I've worked around those judges, and I'm telling you, they are super and they're ready. If you have available courtrooms, they are ready to take your case. The priority of cases in St. Louis County is the confined. And if you go to any of those judges and say, we have a confined client that's ready to go to trial, they're going to make every opportunity for you to take that case to trial. The other part of it is the defendant who's confined. I can't imagine he's sitting there saying, hey, I want to stay confined. So there's only one other party to that decision of when cases go to court.
Well, but you're a defense lawyer. Mm-hmm. You understand that the speedy right trial is the right of the defendant, mm-hmm. not the state. And rushing gets cases dismissed. It gets convictions reversed. So are you promising fast trials or good ones? Because I'm not sure you can have both.
Good trials. You can have both. And that's the mysteriousness of what people don't understand. It makes it seem like cases are always complicated. You have to have 2 and 3 years worth of investigation to get a case to trial, and that's not always the case. You got plenty of cases that are simple. I've heard maybe a couple weeks ago, a case went to court, resisting arrest case, sat for 2 years, and then finally went to trial. What's the witness on that case? What's the evidence? A police officer.
But here's the funny part. You've spent, and I understand lawyers can take different sides over the course of their career. You can be a defense attorney, you can be a prosecutor, but you've spent your career keeping the state from rushing your clients. Now you want to be the state doing the rushing?
I've spent a career keeping the state from rushing my client. Now, first, I've worked on both sides. I've been a prosecutor. When I felt like I understood that well, I worked on the other side to understand that. My whole idea has been to understand courts. I love being in court. I love processing courts. And so it hasn't been keeping the state from doing anything. I'm always focused on fairness.
Well, keeping them from convicting your client.
Well, you'd be surprised at how many cases plea. Maybe 10% of the cases we don't agree on, we go to trial on. So it's not, the defense attorney's job is not to protect crime or keep a person from being held accountable.
It's a vigorous defense for the accused.
And oftentimes you're fighting because the defendant doesn't agree with what you've charged them with. And there's prosecutors who weren't at the scene. The defense attorneys are not at the scene. You don't necessarily agree on the facts of what has unfolded. And it's the defense attorney's job to make sure the truth comes out. And if the truth comes out in a way that says the person isn't charged with everything or didn't do everything they're charged with, then that's the importance of a vigorous defense attorney.
I want to give you a chance to make your clearest case for your campaign. In your analysis, name the single biggest thing that's broken in the prosecutor's office now, and how would you fix it?
Transparency, first of all. And obviously I will fix it by making sure the public knows about policies that are being changed when no one's looking. Making sure the public knows what cases are being charged, demographics of the kinds of cases, but more importantly, being able to it's so important to get those cases in the court. And so one of the things I'll change is transparency for sure. But one of the other things that really fuels me and that I'd love to be in charge of is making sure we can get cases, 2 or 3-year-old cases, in the court and get those cleared. The jails are backed up, and there's a reason for it.
One last question for you. As a political reporter, I often try to measure the support, look where support is coming from. And the fastest way to do that is campaign finance records. You have very few of them. I could find 2 or 3 donors to your campaign.
Sure.
And not the most current filings. Maybe you intend to file more soon. How would you define, why hasn't your campaign attracted more financial backing, do you think?
I've been a trial lawyer, and this is my first time running out and trying to help St. Louis County in a public way. And so it's been an education on what it means to apply for a job in this way, meaning it takes money to apply for a job in this way. And so we have been a real grassroots campaign with people who are understanding the fundamental part of what we're doing. We haven't been funded by defense attorneys. And if you look at the MEC report, it makes 0 sense for the prosecutor to be funded by defense attorneys.
It has happened before.
Well, it turns out that money is going to have some sort of people are going to.
You think that's inappropriate? It's
inappropriate. It's inappropriate to have and I can tell you examples of how that has played out even now about cases that are getting favorable bonds and favorable conditions. It's inappropriate for the prosecutor to have funding from larger defense attorneys. So no, I haven't taken any of that kind of money.
I wish we had more time.
Sure.
David Bryant, thank you.
Sure.
That settles the ballot for county prosecutor. Next, we move from the courthouse to Jefferson City in a contest for an open seat in the Missouri Senate. That's next.